Hi everyone on YouTube and all the NFL YouTube prognosticators and football fans everywhere. This is Andrew Warren, back here once again, giving you my thoughts about Week 5 and my picks for Week 6 of the 2021 NFL season. Check it out. Alright, time for my thoughts for about Week 5. Last week I went 13-3 straight up overall, and now overall 53-27 overall for the year. Against the spread, I went barely above the 500 mark. I went 8-7-1. I got one push, and that was the Cincinnati and Green Bay game. So, other than that, now I'm over the year. I'm 42-26-2. And over and under, unfortunately, I went under 500. I went 7-9 for that. And I went 41-39 overall. Well, I did one thing. I switched my pick at the last minute. For the Bucks game, for the Bucks and Dolphins game, I switched it over to the minus 10.5, and sure enough, I did the right thing on that one. So wanted me a little be aware of that. So, anyways, that being said, let's continue. Let's start with my first thought about the Rams in Seattle. As of right now, Russell Wilson has been hurt. He could be out for a while. So I don't know who. I forget it was Jim the quarterback right now for. I was looking at the backup quarterback. I just hadn't looked his name up recently. It was, I know Russell Wilson's going to rehab, and I think it's Geno Smith who's going to be the backup quarterback since Russell Wilson's injury. So that's going to be a real tough blow for Seattle right now. So if you're like Seattle's case, I think you might as well tank it and probably get some protection for Russell Wilson for the draft. So that's the way I think about it for Seattle right now. So probably just tank it for the year and rebuild on the offensive line and rebuild the defense. So I think that's the way that they should look at it from that. Atlanta and the New York Jets. Atlanta got the win they needed to win in London, so they needed to do that. So, other than that, the New York Jets look like they're just going to be like, they're still working on what they need to work on. In Green Bay and Cincinnati, like I mentioned, I got a push against the spread in that game, but it was a close call, and Aaron Rodgers looked like he was pretty bad most of the game and everything else like that. But look, Aaron Rodgers pulled it off, and then he pulled off the win. In overtime, I think it was overtime, so something like that. I know, yeah, I believe that was overtime. I gotta go look at it again, yep, it was overtime. It was an overtime field goal, so I apologize for that. Minnesota and Detroit, though, this was like a defensive battle for that game. I think there was a defensive battle that was well shredded for that. I didn't expect it to be a defensive battle in that game, so that's why I took the over on that one. But unfortunately, I didn't win that one. But hey, that Minnesota got the win. Pittsburgh and Denver. Well, this is a game that Pittsburgh needed to win, and that was exactly what they needed to do. And Big Ben's like, hey, I'm still Big Ben. There you go. So, Tampa Bay and Miami, that's what I was telling you about. I switched that at the last minute, so for the pick'em for that. And that's why I got the and it's a good thing I did because I would have gone under 500 on that one. So, yep, me and Tampa Bay got some redemption against Miami for all the beating up Miami did for them over the years, pretty much. On that one. New Orleans and Washington. New Orleans was on a roll for a while, and then all of a sudden, Washington got a little bounce around and everything else like that. In Carolina and Philadelphia, now I'm questioning about Carolina right now. So I thought Carolina was going to be a turnaround team and stuff like that, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Philadelphia won that game, so it's kind of like, okay, maybe Jalen Hurts is for real. So we'll see. My New England Patriots and the Houston Texans, all I got to say is for this is the beginning of the Mac Jones era. It was an incredible comeback, especially all of our offensive line dealing with COVID and everything else. Our defense is banged up and everything else like that. And Mac Jones found a way to get it done. So, hey, props for him. I have to say, this is all I said after that game. This is the Mac Jones era has begun. So I believe it said that. And, I think it's high hopes for Mac Jones now because of that move, all that comeback. So, hey, if you got to make a comeback, might as start somewhere, Joe Montana did that with the 49ers. And the Saints were like the worst team in football that year in 1980. So now Houston Texans is probably like one of the worst teams in football of 2021. And look what Mac Jones did. So, I never know. So, I still think a little high hopes on them. Now I'm thinking because of that comeback, I think my Rookie of the Year candidate is going to be on the line, though, which I picked Justin. Yeah, no, not Justin Herbert, but Justin Fields is as the rookie of the year. So that might be in jeopardy now because of that game. Because of that game alone. But hey, we'll see. But it is what it is on that one, And speaking of Chicago, and that's a lot of flip sides on Vegas as well, and that one that just the Chicago Bears won. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders. And now we have a big email scandal going in for John Gruden and everything else. And now because of that, John Gruden's resigned for the head coaching position. And now there's a little drama going on for the Vegas Raiders. And now there's questioning on what's going on and everything else like that. But for my case scenario, I mean, I don't really like what John Gruden did. It was kind of like a disappointment for me. I was going to say that. I'm not really a political junkie at all. I'm not really like that, but I'm not really, you're not going to see me do like a cancel culture thing or like that or something like that. It's not really me. I mean, I don't really follow politics or cancel culture and stuff like that. I don't really necessarily agree with John Gruden what he did. I didn't like that at all. But, other than that, yeah. It's like, my thing is like, you shouldn't have done it in the first place when it happened years ago. Even then, now, I mean, like, you shouldn't have done it anyways. I mean, that's just me, whatever, Well, what's done is done. Yeah, but what's done is done for that. John Gruden is gone, out. But I think Rich Bischolina will serve as the intern coach for the year and see what he does and what he'll do for the head coaching position for the Vegas Raiders. We'll see how he turns out. So, anyways, the LA Chargers and the Cleveland Browns. I personally think the Cleveland Browns got screwed in the end of the game, but other than that, it was a really crazy game for the Rams and the Chargers. But the Rams, I mean, the Chargers got it done. That's all that mattered. So for them, but I think Cleveland just really got screwed in that game. The Dallas and the New York Giants. It goes to show that the Dallas Cowboys are the team in the NFC East right now. They're probably like the fourth best team in the NFL right now, and I think this is going to be a really tough scenario to go through. The Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants. That was a game that Arizona wanted to win to get that NFC West. So I think that was a key momentum in that game. So even though it's not fully there yet for Arizona, but I think they're on the driver's seat for it right now, for that division. And the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, I still say about Josh Allen, his MVP case right now, this is it for that one. I think that's the case scenario for Josh Allen to be an MVP candidate this year, so I think he's going to win that at all. So other than that, Kansas City is having some questionable things right now with not Patrick Mahomes indefinitely, but the defense is pretty bad. Offensive line is banged up, everything else like that. So we'll see how Kansas City rolls out and continues on. And for Monday Night Football in Baltimore and in Indianapolis, I think that was a great Monday Night Football game last night. Baltimore was struggling a little bit. They had a little comeback of their own, for like the Patriots did. But other than that, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens' 100-yard streak, running 100 yards, it comes to an end because of Lamar Jackson's throwing abilities, which I'm really happy about that. I knew Lamar Jackson had a great arm. He should use it more often than running, but I can understand why he's running because he doesn't have an offensive line to help as well. And because of that, he won the game in overtime, and I'm really, really happy for Lamar Jackson. He's doing he did really, really well for that game. I'm really happy that he used his arm. He finally gets a chance to use it, and he did. So, hey, that's my thoughts for the week. Let's get on to my Week 6 picks. Well, before you get to my picks, bye weeks are starting this week. So, if you're on fantasy, if you have any players on the Atlanta Falcons, the New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, and the San Francisco 49ers, bench them because they're not going to be playing this week because they're just so you know, this bye week's coming up, so I'll let you know when the bye weeks are. So this week's bye weeks are, like I said, the Falcons, the Jets, and the Saints and the 49ers. So on fantasy, make sure you bench some of these players I just mentioned. So keep eyes on that. Guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Ryan, Zach Wilson, everything else, the Saints defense, the 49ers defense. Just bench them all, because they're not going to be playing this week. All right, let's continue on with my Thursday night game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. This is Tom Brady's first game back in Philadelphia since 2019, and his second in his probably this third meeting since Super Bowl 53. So this is but times are different right now. Tom Brady's with the Bucs. Jalen Hurts the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a high-flying game, I see. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a really talented player. I really think he needs some help in offensively as well. Some protection help. There's a lot of teams that need protection help right now. I think we're going to see a lot of offensive line going in the draft coming up. I think Philadelphia's going to be one of the cases on that. So, I think the way they see it for this game, I think that it's going to be an offensive shootout. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to overtime in this game. But for Thursday night, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Philadelphia Eagles in this game in Philadelphia because I think Tom Brady, I think that offensive line, I think they're going to be a big, huge shootout. But I'll say this. Tom Brady facing new quarterback debuts or rookie quarterbacks, or at least sophomore quarterbacks or something like that. It's kind of a good record, so hit your bets on that. So I'm taking Tampa Bay over Philadelphia in this game. On the line now, Tampa Bay is favored by 7 in this game. I'm going to take Tampa Bay minus 7. Over and under, it's 53. I'm going to go over 53. The Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. I say for this game, I think this is a game that I'm going to be expecting to see. And it's in London, by the way. Another game in London, so I thought I'd tell you about that one. That game is going to be a game that Miami really needs the most because if they want to be a playoff contender, Miami needs to win this game. So, but if I'm Jacksonville, I want to probably looking at an upset right now, but I don't see it. So I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins over the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. On the line, though, Miami's favored by 3.5 in this game. I'm going to take Miami minus 3.5. Over and under, it's 45. I'm going to go over 45. The Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. For the Chicago Bears, I think this is a game that Justin Fields is going to be really looking forward to. And I think this is a game that I expect to see Aaron Rodgers like, this is a rookie quarterback. I want to win. So I think that's going to be the case. Aaron Rodgers is going to come out and say, look, I'm still the king of the NFC Central right now. And I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers over the Chicago Bears in this game. On the line, though, the Green Bay Packers are favored by 4.5 in this game. I'm going to take Chicago plus 4.5 because I don't think Green Bay is going to cover that. Over and under, it's 45. I'm going to go under 45. Cincinnati and Detroit in this game. Cincinnati really wants to be in control of the wild card, and I think they're on the verge to do that. So I think for Cincinnati right now, they got to beat out Detroit, which I feel sorry for Detroit right now because then I think they should just tank and go for the number 1 pick. So I'm going to take Cincinnati over the Detroit Lions in this game. Over Joe Burrow, I think he's going to put some numbers on this game, so that's why I'm picking Cincinnati over Detroit. On the line, though, Cincinnati's favored by 3.5 in this game. I'm going to take Cincinnati minus 3.5. Over and under, it's 51. I'm going to go over 51.5. The Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. The Indianapolis Colts, they're probably a little redemption after what happened last night for the Baltimore Ravens. They should have won that game and everything else like that. So they're going to take it out on Houston. But Houston is probably on a bad spot as well, choking that, choking for that 13-point deficit. I believe it was 13-point deficit. Yeah, it was a 13-point deficit, and they end up blowing it. So I think that's going to avoid the way it looks in that. So both teams are going to look, they got a little anger in this one. So, but I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick Indianapolis, and because at home, I'm going to take Indianapolis over the Houston Texans in this game. On the line, though, Indianapolis is favored by 10.5 in this game. I'm going to take Houston plus 10.5. I think it's going to be a close game. Over and under, it's 42. I'm going to go under 42. The LA Rams and the New York Giants in this game. The LA Rams, I'm looking like in the driver's seat right now to get that wild card, but I think Arizona's going to wrap that one up soon. But anyways, I think for the LA Rams, I think they're going to beat out the New York Giants. The New York Giants are banged up with injuries right now and everything else. And it's in New York. It's going to make it a little bit more interesting. But I'm going to take the LA Rams over the New York Giants in this game. On the line, though, The Rams are favored by 10.5 in this game, but this one I'm going to take the minus 7.5 because the injuries of the New York Giants, I don't really know what they're going to do. Over and under, it's 47.5. I'm going to go under 47.5. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Washington football team. And I think Kansas City needs to say, look, we're still the best team in football. We need to prove it. And this is going to be it right here. So for Kansas City, I think this is the must-win situation for them. They're in a must-win situation. They really need to win if Justin Herbert and the Chargers are going to get that division. So I think I'm going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs over the Washington football team in this game. On the line, though, Kansas City is favored by 6.5. I'm going to take Kansas City minus 6.5. Over and under, it's 54.5. I'm going to go under 54.5. The Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. I'm still questioning the Carolina Panthers after that game against Philadelphia. It's making me think maybe this team is not for real after all. I don't know. You never know. But you know, Minnesota, they're probably looking pretty good. They're beating a division rival, so I think they're going to continue that stretch. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings over the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. On the line, that game's a pick 'em. I'm going to take Minnesota to pick 'em. Over and under, it's 43. I'm going to go under 43. The LA Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. This could be another playoff preview we could see. So I think this is going to be a really close game. So as of right now, for the Ravens, they don't really have much of an offensive line. So I don't know. So I think they're going to still be looking into that in the draft, maybe. I don't know. But, you know, and Lamar Jackson doesn't really have enough weapons, but he did throw. So I think it's going to be a really close game. But it's in Baltimore as well, so that makes it more interesting for Baltimore. But if I got to say, no offense to Lamar Jackson, I love him as a quarterback, but I've got an upset right here. I'm picking the LA Chargers over the Baltimore Ravens in this game in Baltimore. On the line, though, the LA Chargers are favored by 3.5 in this game. I'm going to take the LA Chargers plus 3.5. Over and under, it's 50.5. I'm going to probably go over 50.5. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. The undefeated Arizona Cardinals and the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is another test for the Arizona Cardinals in this game. That's another team that it's going to be... It'll be a tough component for the Arizona Cardinals to lose. It's another game they could possibly lose, but I don't think... I'm not seeing it right now, but I think they're going to beat out the Cleveland Browns just by a hair this game. And it's in Cleveland. The dog pound's going to be rocking, I'll tell you that. But it's going to be really close. So I'm going to take Arizona over the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. On the line, though, Arizona's favored by 3 in this game. I'm going to take Arizona plus 3. Another upset. And over and under, it's 51.5. I'm going to go over 51.5. The Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, there's a lot of drama going on with the Vegas Raiders, like I mentioned in my thoughts about John Gruden and everything else like that. You know, now Vegas is trying to get past that. Not all of a sudden, but Denver's like, we're going to take advantage of this. But, you know, Denver's great defense. The Raiders' great offense is going to be one of the best offenses versus the best defenses in this game. So I think Denver's going to win out this game. So in Denver, so I think that's the way I'm going to roll it. So I'm going to take the Denver Broncos over the Las Vegas Raiders in there. On the line, though, Denver's favored by 3 in this game. I'm going to take Denver minus 3. Over and under is 44.5. I'm going to go under 44.5. The Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots, probably the game of the week. Now, this is the game. This is the rematch from a couple years ago. They had that crazy game for the New England Patriots when Tom Brady was there in 2019. But now Mac Jones is there, so he's going to be the rookie quarterback. Because Mac Jones versus Dak Prescott. There's going to be some great numbers to be in there for both quarterbacks. I'll say that the least. But the problem is that Dak Prescott is too much of a good of a player right now. Like I mentioned, I picked Dak Prescott to win comeback player of the year. There's a reason why. He's putting up some great numbers, and they have a great defense. I'm picking Dallas to win this game. I hate to do that, but I'm going to root for the Patriots at heart. But I don't think they're going to win this game. So I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys over my New England Patriots in this game. On the line, though, Dallas is favored by 3.5 in this game. I'm going to take Dallas minus 3.5. Over and under, it's 48. I'm going to go under 48. Sunday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers over the Seattle Seahawks. Pittsburgh, Seattle is a struggling organization right now. Now they're going to go with Geno Smith as their quarterback. This is going to be a big, big problem. And Pittsburgh usually takes advantages for backup players and stuff like that. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh over the Seattle Seahawks in this game. On the line, though. It's in Pittsburgh, by the way. On the line, though, Pittsburgh's favored by 4 in this game. I'm going to take Pittsburgh -4. Over under is 42. I'm going to go over 42.5. I think Geno Smith is going to make a few plays here and there, so we'll see. Monday Night Football. The Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is a game I'm going to be looking forward to the most. But Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill and Josh Allen in that offense, and it's going to be an offensive shootout in this game. I'm going to tell you that right now. We might not see a defense in this game at all. But I'll say this. For some reason, Derrick Henry knows how to beat down the best, on like the best teams. So, like Buffalo. Like Buffalo's defense, I think he can just run them over. And I think because of that, I'm picking a big upset. And I'm not saying it because I don't want Buffalo to win. I think Buffalo's a good team. They have a good coach. So does Tennessee. They have a good team, great coach. It's going to come down who's going to have the ball last, and I believe it's going to be Tennessee, and they're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry. He's going to run them over. So, and it's in Tennessee, and it's going to be hard. If it's in Buffalo, I probably would have picked Buffalo to win this game, but it's in Tennessee in this game. So I'm going to take Tennessee over the Buffalo Bills in Tennessee in this game as a big upset. And on the line now, Buffalo's favored by 3.5 in this game, which I thought that was 3.5. I could be wrong, but Buffalo is a favorite in this game. So I'm going to take Tennessee plus 3.5 in this game because it's considered an upset. Over and under, it's 53. I'm going to go under 53.5 in this game. Now, a big shout out this week is Half Moon's Picks. Check him out. Check out Half Moon's Picks right here on the NFL YouTube prognosticator page in the description down below. And you can tune in for the rest of the NFL YouTube prognosticator page right in the description as well. And until then, this is Andrew Warren signing off, saying rock out and good luck to your picks this week.